Carrie Pope with the Physician Society of Central Florida. Thank you for joining us for our second part of our podcast series on physician wellness. Again, we've broken these up into two 20-minute podcasts that you can watch at your leisure, focused on time and energy management. And we're honored to have our special guest back with us today, Dr. Ademola Adewale, who is part of the leadership team here with the Physician Society of Central Florida, and will be interviewing our guest of honor, Dwight Bain.
All right. Thank you for having me again to this phenomenal podcast talking about wellness. Physicians need to be well, and at the same time, they need to be energized. And what happens is based on the work schedule that most physicians, shall I say, champion or perform, they always feel that they have to be on the go, and never have enough time to actually recover and recharge. And what happens then is you do not have energy, you're fatigued. And what you then see is, because you're always on the go, you don't eat right. And if you don't eat right, guess what? Your energy balance will also be, shall I say, in total chaos. So joining us again today is Mr. Dwight Bain, who's a well-known, national recognized counselor, licensed counselor, a life coach, and at the same time, a phenomenal educator who's championing the well-being of physicians, and at the same time, teaching people how to get their life back. So welcome again, Dwight, and it's an honor to have you today, and I'm sure we'll have fun having a conversation about this topic.
I'm glad to be back because these are challenging times. And I know this, when life seems very unclear, priorities can become crystal clear. And to be able to say to busy physicians, your work matters more than ever during this time of a global crisis, to be able to have a sense of we watch out for each other, we take care of each other, because we are stronger and better together. This is an important conversation. Very honored to be here.
Oh, thank you, Dwayne. So let's get right to it then, because, we talk about energy and people tell you I'm spent, I'm just tired, I'm fatigued. And the things I normally like to do, I just don't have the energy to do it. And so if you happen to have a client like that, who is a physician, that's telling you this, how would you guide him to get their recharge back?
Absolutely. It's a great question, because we all know someone like that. And to be honest, we've all been someone like that. We've all been that person who is busy taking care of everybody else, not taking care of themselves. And I'll be very personal, very vulnerable right now. I was that busy practitioner. In 2006, going to Afghanistan and Iraq to work with troops, had a heart attack. And because of some very fine physicians and 4 stents in my left lower descending artery, the widowmaker, wow, I'm still here. And I say that because, one, thank God for good physicians and cardiology units, and for second chances. I'm very passionate every day because I got a second chance. But I also know this, for maybe years, certainly months, I had people close to me, my family, my wife, I had individuals saying, you got to slow down. You're taking care of everybody else. You're not taking care of yourself. You're overweight. You're out of shape. And I would kind of laugh it off and say, well, round is a shape. And they would say, you got to take care of yourself. And I would go, yeah. After I take care of the whole world, then I'll take care of me. And ignoring and neglecting this basic body that God gave led to a health crisis. And it changed everything. I used to love to do roller coasters with my kids. Never again. I used to love and to go and, jump out of helicopters with first responders and to go into some really extreme places. No, it put me on the sidelines. I'm glad to be here. And when the sign says, don't ride this roller coaster if you have a heart condition, they're talking to me. But I know if that busy burned out, if I had kept some reserve in the tank instead of burning out, I'm thankful for a second chance, but I'm hoping that our conversation will challenge some people to say, it's okay to back away from all these other responsibilities, and it's okay to take care of me. It's okay to stop and say, the work I do matters for a lifetime, not just today. I need to take care of me. And that's what the series is about. And I'm glad people are tuning in. And I'm really thankful for the work that went into this podcast, and thankful for those that are listening. I think it'll be a game changer.
Awesome. I like that. And I was one of those physicians too. It's like you just go. And I remember probably 2003, and someone asked me a question. It says, Dr. Adewale, you look good in paper. Everything about you is awesome. What is your weakness? And at that moment, I had an epiphany. And I said, nobody ever asked me what my weaknesses were. They always talk about how superb you are. And it occurred to me, I said, you know what? I say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of doctors do that. That day, I started saying no. And that was a game changer.
Yeah.
And not just saying no emphatically, I'll say, I would love to be part of this project, but my plate is full right now.
Exactly.
When I'm doing what I'm doing, if I have room and the opportunity is still there, I would love to be part of it. But before, I just take on everything and the pressure of it, the stress of it. I'll get the job done, but at what cost? And at the end of the day, you get the job done. Then when you're done, you're so burnt out, tired, and you have to start the next project you already committed yourself to. And it's just like a wheel that you keep going, and eventually gets to a point that you will drop. And that's why it's important for us to be able to stop. I call it my proverbial pause button, to stop and just be still and have enough time to recharge. Because energy management, just like time management, is very, very important. And as a physician, we need to be doing things that will continuously recharge our battery. So we need to look around us, look at ourselves, take an introspective approach at yourself, and look at the things that charges you, and spend time making sure you accomplish those. It is imperative that we do this. Otherwise, you will end up where you don't want to be. You have a breakdown. You have a fallout. You have a medical scare, just like Dwight just told us here. And you don't want that to be when your clock stops and you say, I want to stop. You have to do it now. So thank you, Dwight, about that. Why do I keep saying Dwight? I think I want you to play basketball or something.
Dwight Howard.
So in terms of energy management, if you have to think about some specific things that a physician could do to help augment the energy, or to help maintain the energy, and to help them keep some reserve, what would you tell them?
It's a great point, because if we can, everybody talks about time management. So let's call that TM. We'll put it on this side. And then let's talk about, make a shift, a pivot, and talk about EM, energy management. Because the more I make this a priority, the more I'm able to protect my energy, the more I'm able to make good decisions instead of feeling burned out. You can make better decisions on time management if you have energy management. And just like we know, since the global pandemic, we have these close, right? We've always got our face masks. We made that a priority. Well, when we can make energy management a priority, and I do that through something called a daily dozen or daily rituals. If you read the New York Times bestseller, Atomic Habits by James Clear, the book is built on a 1% solution. Do 1% more on a category that you know you need to. That's how you get energy. That's how you make some dramatic changes. And my hope is that people are better physically than they were when the pandemic started, that they're better financially than they were that their marriage relationship is better, that their quality of life is better. Because if you use this 1% through daily rituals, that's how you recharge. And for some, it may be yoga. For others, for me, it's walking in the morning. Others will have a time of prayer and meditation, or a time in scripture for inspiration. Still others will make that morning time about reading, or they're catching up on some of the trends. Maybe they're listening to podcasts just like this one, daily rituals to be able to have that healthy, nutritious breakfast, to have patterns in place and a daily dozen so that you start your day with high energy. And then throughout the day, there are ways to be able to boost energy. If you have a smart watch or smart device, it'll remind you, stop and breathe. And it'll walk you through a 2-minute meditation. And there are numbers of different apps and things that'll do that. The key is, I want busy physicians to be able to know you matter, your work matters. But if you run out of energy, everything else stops, because all that remains is a crisis of some kind, either a crisis in your relationship or your money, or maybe even a crisis in your health or with your kids. Let's protect energy, because when you have enough energy, enough gas in the tank, you're able to go do the work you're called to do and beyond. Your quality of life goes up. That's what we want for every physician.
Phenomenal. I like that. And just to tag onto that is a lot of physicians that are very busy, do not eat right. I talked about this in my book, that you are what you eat. And what happens is, as you eat on the go, you eat some food that are loaded with carbs because you want to feel that you have enough sustenance in you, or you eat something that just too sugary, too sweet. Exactly. So what happens is you get this sudden surge of energy, and in about 2-3 hours, the energy goes down,
right?
And you just feel fatigued. So that's why I say you are what you eat. So the idea is to be able to understand what we call the glycemic index, because high glycemic index food, you give you this surge of energy, but within 2-3 hours, it wanes completely and you feel tired, you want to go to sleep. So the ways for us as physicians to identify food that provide us sustained release of energy throughout the day, not something that gives us a bolus. Exactly. Having fruits with you, nuts with you, or small little meals that's healthy that you can eat throughout the day, versus eating a load of food that will give you this surge, then that will be burned in immediately, then you go back to being tired. So food and nutrition is an important integral component of your energy management. So as a physician, or as physicians out there, it's important for us to understand that what we put in our body determines what we bring out. At the same time, some goes, I don't like to eat breakfast, I don't like to eat this, I don't do that. You go to the extreme. Your body needs it. There are research that shows that they have people that they starve and people that they fed breakfast to, like elementary school kids. They fed breakfast to ones, and they have some without breakfast. And they watch their performance during the day. And the ones that did not have breakfast tend to be more angry.
Yep.
And, because they're just hungry. So they're angry. And as soon as they feed them, they feel much better and they start acting, the way they're supposed to be, because the energy balance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we have to figure out how to eat right so that we can maintain our energy, and to eat little meals throughout the day. Or there's several iterations that works for you. But the goal is to have sustenance that will help you sustain your energy level throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Because without your energy, you can't really perform your job to the utmost, should I say, professionalism that you espouse, because you have to have energy to do that.
Right.
So that's awesome.
When people are able to say, okay, C6, H12O6, H2O, when they're able to say O2, right? When I'm able to keep blood sugar stable. And that's when I learned this. I mean, during the global pandemic, we're 21 months when we're recording this, I lost over 50 pounds just by implementing things that I'd always heard. I just never took time to do. And one of them was eat something to keep that blood sugar stable, something that's in this healthy category that we all knew, every 2 hours. About every 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes, I get up out of this chair, because now a lot of things are telehealth. And to be able to know these daily rituals, to be able not just to have water, but to have an electrolyte boost that goes into the water to be able to boost those electrolytes and to be able to keep that magnesium, potassium. This is not hard stuff. And then to remember to breathe, though, too. Because if we breathe through it and we talk through it, and we have conversations just like this one, I want everybody to know we will get through this, and we will get through this stronger, and we will get through this better. And that's what an association, that's what the society is about, is to say, you are not in this alone. Your family are not in this alone. We're in this together, and we can do some tiny rituals, some atomic habits, some simple things. But what happens is strengthening, empowering. And it's not saying I'm a perfect physician and I never make mistakes and I never feel weak and I never get tired. No, it's the opposite. It's saying sometimes I get weak and tired, but I'm not in this alone. It's okay to admit I'm tired. This has been hard. This is difficult. It's not a fail to say it. It's a fail not to learn from it. It's a fail not to change. That's why we're having this conversation.
That is phenomenal because, it's like, for me personally, you go about trying to teach people, and when you hear from somebody else, it just gives you some different perspective that you kind of say, okay, I like that, So I like what I hear here, Dwight, and you're actually teaching me, some things that I can use my next series of podcasts that I'll be doing.
I'm honored. I am honored.
Thank you. One of the things you also see is, going back to that energy stuff, it appears that a lot of physicians, we spend our energy on things that are not really rewarding to us. In terms of, what do I mean by that? Oh, too much phone time, social media. The other thing is like, what we tend to do is we worry a lot. And when I say worry, it's just because of the stress that we deal with and the anguish that we deal with, especially with this pandemic. And we spend a lot of time worrying about what if, what that. And I talk about, physician practicing mindfulness, being able to stay in the moment, forget about what's going to happen next, forget about what just happened. Think about now, and just do that. Because studies have shown that if you're taking periods of mindfulness every day, it actually helps your body recharges, help you build endorphins, So if you have physicians that are stressed, dealing with anxiety, what would you teach them how to best deal with this during the day?
Yeah, that's a great question. And because now we're all doing telehealth and we have microphones and screens, I keep a couple of things, right? I keep chapstick and I keep these little throat lozenges, and I get the ones from Halls because it says on the wrapper, be resilient. You got this. You're stronger than you know. It just says it on the wrapper. And so what can we remember? Have tiny affirmations, little Post-it notes. You can't see it, but right on the wall is a note on a paper towel that my wife put in with my banana and my lunch. It said, I love you, babe. And I thought that encourages me. I love that we have a love story 35 years in the making. That right? Tiny things, big results. Tiny things, big results. And if you forget everything else, remember, you're not in this alone. We will survive COVID-19. We will get through this time. We get through it better together. And if you'll stop and take a breath and remember why you started into medicine. And when you remember the work you do is changing lives. And sometimes when you have a little Post-it note or even a throat lozenge that says, hang in there, be resilient, you matter. When we have conversations like this, it changes everything. I'm glad to be part of it.
Oh, thank you very much, Dwight. Bain, I really appreciate this session. What I'll just let all my fellow physicians out there know is these too shall pass eventually. We just have to stay together and make ourselves a priority, make our health a priority, make our family a priority, and make sure that our life is a priority, and trying to figure out how to fit that job into that life that we've already owned, that belongs to us. We own the life. And whatever is coming to that life, we have to be able to control that.
Yeah.
So this has been a phenomenal, should I say, awakening for me to be part of this. And I've taken some notes, and gonna
too.
add that to my
A whole
arsenal.
page of notes.
And I'm looking forward to working with you again, Dwight. And so as we wrap up today, once again, this has been Wellness for Physicians. And our goal is to keep you well, make sure that we provide you with tools that will allow you to accomplish your own journey to becoming well and balanced. So thanks very much, Dwight Bain. And until next time, thank you for listening to our podcast, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you both so much. And just a reminder to everyone out there about our PSTF Physician Wellness Program. Our physicians can always utilize this service. We provide up to 4 visits a year with one of our certified counselors at no charge. It's completely confidential, and it's a great way to get coaching, counseling services, whatever you may need. The number for that is 844-234-LIFE. 844-234-LIFE. You'll get put in touch with our answering service. They will connect you with a counselor's office and set up an appointment for you. Again, completely confidential and just a resource that we want to provide out there for our physicians. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Dr. Adewale, for providing this valuable resource for our physicians. We truly appreciate it.
You're most welcome.